state line. Welcome to the Deep South, rookie. We've got wetlands, the blues, and the American story, not to mention some of the best hunting you'll find anywhere on this earth. But the floods this year have been worse than ever, and our community is at its breaking point. Camp Haven, the summer camp we worked so hard to open last year, is under threat. If there's one thing I've learned living here, it's that Mississippi Acres folk are resilient. We don't need a savior, just a little extra help. And that's where you come in. Looks like the end of the road. I'm so sorry, but I've actually got to run. I've got a pile of papers I need to grade. I'll call you as soon as I've got a signal. Promise. There, finally. I had to add actual cell service to the list of things I miss about Chicago. Sorry that I'm so short on Southern hospitality right now, but we've got a bit of a situation. Steve Ernie from our flood relief committee was out delivering supplies to elders who couldn't evacuate on time. The levee overtopped and his trunk got totally submerged. Everything scattered. He got away safe, but we don't have the funds to let anything go to waste. Can you go take a look? The water should have mostly receded by now. I'll mark the location on your hunter mate. Thank you. almost there. You starting to get goosebumps, or is it just me? The Delta's a weird place. You said he got stuck somewhere over there by those cypress knees? Bingo. Those are the supplies. You got everything? Thanks. This is doing us a huge favor. Hey, are the shadows playing tricks, or is that a briefcase I'm seeing on my feed? Let me make a quick call. Hey, Mrs. Tackett. My new counselor's out where Steve dropped the flood supplies, and there's a briefcase hanging from a tree branch. You know if that's... Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. Yes, ma'am. Give me just a sec. She wants to talk to you.
Well, Miss Davis has got you out on a fine excursion this time of night. Betty Tackett here, chairwoman of the Mississippi Delta Big Game Club. I hate to ask, Sugar, but can you grab the briefcase? Steve's a little ornery, and he'll pitch a fit if he don't get his papers back.
You'll have to... Well, nothing to it. Wow. Hear that, Mrs. Tackett? You are phenomenal. What happened to that rookie kid I got my hunting license with who couldn't hit a broadside shot on a stationary target?
Loud and clear. I'm gonna extend you an invite if you keep that up. I'm down for the count since I broke my neck, but Steve will get you an application. Hell, he owes you.
Let's take that later, why don't we? We gotta let you go, Mrs. Tackett.
All the best now. Don't be a stranger, y'all.
Betty's lovely, but she's as southern as all get out, as they say in these parts, with everything that entails. Any markings on that briefcase? Not that I don't believe it's Steve's, it's just... I don't see anything suspicious. Let's get those supplies to the people who need them. There's an outpost not far from here. Can you swing by and drop the briefcase and supplies off there? Maybe get your breath back, too. You could just leave the stuff on the table there. I'll let Steve know. Thanks. Oh, Betty again? Can you pull her up on speakerphone?
Hey, Sugar, can I trouble you for a favor? The boys are having a meeting tonight to discuss our flood relief efforts, and it gets real chilly in the evenings this time of year. Well, usually they get a fire going, but right now, there ain't a single log of dry firewood anywhere in the state. And you know we've got elderly members. I believe you'll find a space heater in that outpost where you left the supplies. Could you be a dear and drop it off at our lodge?
I'd hate to think of someone catching hypothermia. By the way, the Big Game Club has been working together with the African American Hunting Club I'm a member of on flood relief efforts. We've, got some history. Not gonna lie, they weren't super enthusiastic about some transplant from Chicago buying up land and opening a summer camp here. Even Betty, and even though I've been coming here since I was little, I get these kids. But we've both got our priorities straight. The future of the community's what matters. Speaking of, we haven't had enough hands on deck to tend to everyone's needs up until now. So there are a couple of errands around the reserve that still need doing. I'll let you know if you're near somewhere you can help out. Let's head over to the Big Game Club's lodge. Make sure they get the heater before their meeting later on. Well, here's the lodge. Not gonna lie, I don't make a habit of spending time here. I guess check the door? Huh. I thought it was just good old-fashioned Southern hospitality to leave your place unlocked in these parts. But who knows what kinds of valuables they've gotten there. Some of the keys are faded. Not the most robust security system. 0, 1, 4, 5, and 6. 5 factorial combinations. That's 120, and that's without repeating digits. And my students say math is pointless. Betty must know the code, right? Let's call her. Hey, Mrs. Tackett, sorry to bother you again. My counselor's out dropping off the heater, but the door is locked. Would you happen to have the key code to hand?
Unfortunately, I do not, Miss Davis. I've been out of commission so long with my neck, you understand.
Do you know who does have the code then? Mr. Ernie, maybe.
I think it's best you just leave the heater outside on the porch there. The boys will be along for the meeting shortly.
You tracking gators, rookie? Want some advice? Okay, if that works for you. All the best, Mrs. Tackett. Hey, I don't want no silent treatment. You've read Camp Haven's handbook, right?
Bye-bye now.
Rule number 1. Our differences are our strengths. There's no shame in trying something new. Best do as she says, I guess. I just wonder why they're so reluctant to give us the code. I'll give you a few pointers. You show me what you can do. It's win-win. First, find where they gather. Following the waterway is a good bet. Just make sure you're packing appropriately. Their skulls are thicker than a Mississippi senator's. Check the Codex field guide if you need help. Take a peek inside the window there. That's 3 of the same damn heater. What? Let me try Betty again. No answer. Well, maybe Southerners are just super sensitive to the cold. My mama just huddled up with a blanket, but I guess she was made of sterner stuff than some of these rich folks. I don't want to think the worst. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'll mention it to Betty later. Okay, all the really urgent things are out of the way, but I've got to be honest with you, rookie. There's another reason you're here. Let me show you what I'm trying to protect. Head over to the Camp Haven bunks and I'll explain on the way. Last summer, some of the kids at our camp reported hearing weird noises. You know, they're just kids. First time away from home for most of them. Of course, it was just a case of too much sugar, right? Well, not gonna lie. That's what I told myself until parents started pulling their kids out. Health and safety concerns, wild animals. We take every measure to protect our kids. And if that wasn't bad enough, we had the worst flooding in 40 years last week. Camp Haven is almost a year old and barely hanging on. But I think there's something else going on here, and I want to get to the bottom of it. Just let's be discreet. Betty didn't want the camp opening here at all, and I don't want to give her any more reason to doubt me. It's not much, but it means everything to me to be able to do this for these kids. It's not just hunting either. It's about trust building, leadership, community. You get it. I know you do. See that broken tire swing? We got lucky here. That and a few deck chairs blown off course are the worst damage we suffered. There should be some extra rope inside. Can you get it swinging again? I knew I had some lying around here somewhere. can you take a look around? I know some of the kids who reported the weird noises stayed in these bunks. Well, I wasn't wrong about them being on too much sugar. Where does this lead? Scorched grass. It's early summer and the ground is soaked. You remember our fire safety classes, right? Literally the first damn thing you're told. No building fires near anything flammable, grass included. If this was one of our counselors' idea of a prank, I'm gonna have to give them a talking to. I've barely been back here since our last session. The flooding sure hasn't helped. What's that? That's a kid's handwriting. Oh, this is a map of Mississippi Acres. Must be the other spots where kids had heard noises. Witches, scorched grass, a woman living in the woods. We really do have to limit their sugar intake. I've heard plenty of ghost stories set around these parts, but this is... But there are patches of scorched grass here. Hello, ma'am. What can we do for you?
Excuse the interruption, Miss Davis, but I've had some residents of Jonesville call me up reporting a gator sighting. They got little kids, and it ain't a good idea to go back if a big old mean one's made his nest there. I suspect he washed up with the high water. You got your counselor on the line there? Could you go and take a look, sugar? I'll send you the details.
Yeah, we're on it. We'll let y'all know how it goes.
If it's a nuisance gator, we can decide what to do with it there and then. I appreciate it.
Most folks around here know how to handle an alligator, but we don't take chances where kids are concerned. Can you go take a look? If this gator did show up with the floodwater, it's bound to be confused. Keep your wits about you. gators are lazy sons of guns at the best of times. I don't get why it... Catchpole. They were serious about this. Oh, of course. Someone was on its trail. It takes a lot to rip that snare. This thing must have been pissed. And we're dealing with some total amateurs. Gator guys, this ain't. In and out. So it got out, wandered over to Jonesville, or someone followed it, and then it went right back the way it came, with its would-be captors in hot pursuit. But Betty called us here first, right? How'd these folks get here before us? Hey, Mrs. Tackett. My counselors here at Jonesville. Happy to report that our reptilian friend has made its way back to the bayou, but not without a fight. Did you call someone else in here first?
Why, no, Miss Davis. Can't say I did. What happened?
Well, there's a broken catch pole and some tape. Someone clearly had some fun.
Wouldn't surprise me if some yokel had got it into himself to make it into tomorrow's papers. You know Delta folk. Bless their hearts.
Yes, ma'am. Anyway, you can call up the residents group, let them know it's safe to come back.
Thanks for the hard work, y'all. Bye-bye.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Someone's pissing off alligators that are probably already pretty out of it after the flooding. And I want to make sure you know how to handle them, just in case. Call me paranoid, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's a connection between all of this weirdness. They don't say half hills, half delta, all crazy for nothing. And that's not just me being an uppity Yankee. You heard Betty. Folks here are quite something. Let's get some gator hunting practice in, then we'll take stock of things. the depression on the ground? Looks like they've been basking around here. Try sneaking up on them when they're idle. We didn't hunt gators much but for self-defense when I spent my summers here. My daddy taught me not to aim between the eyes. That'll just have it pitching a fit. Try to land a shot between the eye and the ear instead. That destroys the brain, kills it quickly. Okay, it's maybe time I stop calling you rookie now. With a clean harvest like that, you've earned it. Alligators were endangered here in Mississippi in the late 60s. So wildlife officials packed horse trailers with 3,500 juveniles from Louisiana. They drove them to the Mississippi State Fair and handed them out in bags. Can you imagine going to the fair to ride the carousel and shoot tin cans and taking home a baby gator? Sure makes for more of a prize than a goldfish in a bag. Thanks to those efforts, the state population's approaching 40,000 these days. There's some commercial farming, but mostly they're just hunted for sport. Feeling more confident? Good. Let's take another look at that map. Can you take out the map again? I'm 90% certain the one in the middle is one of our campsites. Try taking a look around. Oh, and let's make sure Betty doesn't get word of this, at least for now. I'm not sure how she'd react to a literal witch hunt. kids were hearing? See if you can find what's causing it. Is that a goddamn tape player? How'd they get that up there? Find some way to shut it off. I can't hear myself think and I'm not even there. Finally. Okay, let's focus here. That tape sounded damaged, but I get what they were going for. Not hard to imagine a bright-eyed sixth grader hearing it and thinking witches. We're right by the river. This was actually one of the worst hit areas. Floodwater crested at over 20 feet. So the tape player must have gotten a real submerging, in spite of the best efforts of the person who placed it. There's no way they could have climbed up that high without access to tools. Let's see if we can find anything. Locked, as it should be. We usually hide the keys in plain sight, inside hollow rocks. Not like we usually have to worry about burglars in rural Mississippi anyway. I don't remember where we put this one, but it's probably close by. That's it. Grab the key. Just as I suspected, a ladder. So the person who did this knew where to find the key and knew they'd find a ladder in here. That means we're dealing with either Camp Haven staff or someone from the big game club, since we tend to use the same facilities. Hey, didn't Betty say she broke her neck recently? I have my suspicions, but our evidence is still circumstantial at best. Let's do some more digging. There was another spot on the map not far from where you are now. I'll mark it on your hunter mate. On the tape? AGM minutes, Jan 2020. Try playing the B-side.
We fear a continued decline in membership and monetary intake should the club fail to secure adequate whitetail hunting grounds. Come on, boys, while we're young. Next item on the agenda, Wright Bingham's proposal, reestablishment of Camp Haven Summer Camp. This ought to be good. What you got for us, Mr. Bingham?
So, the tape was the big game clubs, and they were planning something to do with Camp Haven. I wish I could say I was surprised, but I still don't get... They terrorize kids just to get back at me? And what about all the other stuff, the heaters and the gator chasing? Oh, speak of the devil. Better pick up.
Hey, Sugar, can I trouble you for another favor? There's been a power outage over by my brother's office. He's working on our accounts and all the papers are there, so we can't wait. Can you head over there and see what's transpired? Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bingo. This could be our chance. Keep in contact with Betty. See if you can get her to trust you. I'll call you back in a little while.
You getting close now, Sugar? Check the road along the way. Lordy, ain't nature something? The Delta sure won't let you forget it. Well, I reckon you're gonna need more than a toolbox to raise that from the dead. I'll call the power company. Can you let my brother know this is gonna take a while? His name's Bodden. Jeremiah Bodden. Well, Jeremiah's never been a patient soul, bless his heart. Busy as all get out, too. He must have left with his papers. I think you're just about done here. Thank you kindly for all your hard work.
How are things? Any sign of Betty's brother? Let's take this opportunity to have a little look around. He really was in a hurry to leave all this behind. For Aunt Betty's 60th bash tomorrow. You're welcome. 3rd. So Betty was born on May 4th, 1961. Why does that feel oddly familiar? Oh, it's the day the Freedom Rides began. Thank you, Illinois Middle School History Curriculum. But it's not just that. I feel like I've seen that particular pattern of numbers somewhere else. Oh, never mind. There's clearly nothing going on here, at least. We're gonna have to turn our attention elsewhere. Why don't you try doing some more sleuthing? Maybe retracing your steps? There must be something we've missed. Something around here. Oh my God, of course. Betty's birthday, May 4th, 1961, 050461. It's gotta be. Well, gotta give them some credit. It is marginally better than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're in. But look, leave everything the way you found it, okay? Just take a quick look around and go. And make sure you're armed. Not saying anything's gonna happen, but I wouldn't want to cross Jeremiah Bodden or Wright Bingham in a hurry. Steve Ernie's briefcase. I guess this is where they have their meetings. A floor plan? For what? Stock? Sounds like a factory or a warehouse. What's a hunt club doing messing around with stock? Can you grab a photo of this? I don't really get it, but maybe we can piece it together once you get out of there. Do I hear footsteps? Go, get out fast. Run toward the cotton field.
Of how things work around here. Why don't you just... The hell is that?
Enough is enough, Betty. Call off your men and tell them to take down the rest of the tapes.
That's not. We ain't set up any tapes anywhere close to here.
Then it must be something else.
Well, it's none of my concern. Now listen, this is your final warning. Don't let me hear about you causing any more trouble for the BGC, or there'll be hell to pay.
There, I think they're gone. They're gonna lie, that's the bad. Let's stop for a minute and consider this. So, there's something going on here, and it's not just Betty convincing the kids that Mississippi Acres is haunted. It's probably dark enough now. I'll mark the mill on your hunter mate. And Rookie, can you bring a weapon? Just in case. And this isn't an excuse to do anything stupid. I trust you. Someone's been making use of this place since it got shut down. Hell, that was a decade ago. See okay? Don't be afraid to get out your flashlight. Ugh, I don't want to know what that is. What is going on here? Remember that floor plan? This is definitely the same layout. Did Betty know about this? Alligator eggs. And there's one of those heaters. Were they incubating them? Tanned alligator hides. This is poaching. There's been a lot of flooding in Louisiana the past few years, and that drives up the price of gator eggs across the board. Zoos and farms there will buy them for $70 a pop. Oh my God, you poor thing. Look at the food it left behind. It must be sick. I think you're gonna have to end its suffering. We can't in good conscience release an ill alligator into the wild. Thank you. We do what we do because we love animals, right? I need to talk to Betty. 1 minute, I'll bring her up on speakerphone. Hi again. We've sourced those noises we heard earlier to the old paper mill on the outskirts of Mississippi Acres. Care to explain what you're doing there?
What we're doing there? Care to explain what you mean by that?
I've just sent you a photo our counselor took in your headquarters. It's a floor plan for the mill. And that noise we heard earlier? A sick alligator confined to a pen. You're poaching, aren't you?
We are doing no such thing. I'll admit I haven't been to many meetings lately, what with my neck and all, but the boys... No. No, they wouldn't. They just said they wanted somewhere to hunt whitetail.
To bring more money in, right? Well, gator poaching's mighty lucrative, Mrs. Tackett.
You're telling me those boys have been sneaking around behind my back the whole time? And I'm the damn chairwoman. They do nothing without my approval. I swear if my brother was involved in this, I'll pitch a fit. It ain't easy work, this. And some of them are a little old-fashioned, don't like taking orders from a woman. Even if the club's been in her family for 4 damn generations.
I'm sure the local papers would be happy to get a hold of this story, Mrs. Tackett.
Look, let me sort it out. I promise you we'll let you keep your summer camp. Hell, we'll sponsor it if you like.
That's all right. But it sounds like we have a deal. You tell your boys to clear out of the mill and release the hatchlings back into the wild. I'll keep quiet about this as long as you leave Camp Haven alone. And let's keep up our flood relief work.
Agreed. Sorry about the trouble, y'all. You take care now.
What a week. I knew Camp Haven would have its challenges, but this... Nature hasn't been kind to us this year, and if people aren't either, it makes it damn difficult to survive out here. Of course we're invested in our history. It's who we are, what we've been through. But we can't forget our future either. When our homes are flooded and people and animals are displaced, all we have is each other. Preparations for our next summer camp session are pretty much complete now. So as long as you've brushed up on your firearms safety and know how to fill out an injury report, you're good to go. We've got to learn to live together out here. I hope Betty's beginning to come round to that. I wonder if she can make the rest of the BGC see sense. I'll contact you if there's anything else. And if not, we've got the whole summer to plan our next move, right, Rookie? Oh, and thank you. I'm sure you thought I was crazy first time I mentioned the strange noises, but you stuck it out. It means a lot to me.